And a very good evening and welcome to First at 9 right here on Ada Derana 24. Good evening, Indiveri.
Good evening, Mahesh. It looks like it's not just the Sri Lankan Parliament that turns chaotic.
Indeed. Yesterday the drama at the British Parliament was quite interesting to see, especially how they went for the vote and also how exactly the Labour Party, the Deputy Leader of the Labour Party's speech, it was quite fascinating to listen to it as well, but all went through for British Prime Minister Theresa May.
I believe she's a very strong lady. I mean, she's just come through all this, and it looks like she's standing her ground, promising to deliver the Brexit deal that she stands for.
Exactly, and that was exactly what the Deputy Leader of the Labour Party said, that she did formidably took on this challenge and went ahead, but the results were not as expected.
Right.
So we're going to start off with that story now. After the UK Parliament handed Theresa May a major defeat on Tuesday, rejecting her Brexit proposal by a massive margin of 230 votes, she just about hung onto the premiership yesterday. The push by the opposition and Labour Party leader to oust her government was expected to fail.
But given the fact May's government won the vote of confidence with a slender margin of 19, it was a case of touch and go. Experts say that the result of the vote gives the government a clear mandate to press ahead.
British Prime Minister Theresa May's government just about survived a vote of no confidence yesterday, meaning that May will now press ahead with talking to lawmakers from all parties to try to find a consensus over how to proceed with Britain's departure from the European Union after her proposed deal was rejected by Parliament.
The ayes to the right, 306. The noes to the left, 325.
But we must find solutions that are negotiable and command sufficient support in this House. And as I've said, we will return to the House on Monday to table an amendable motion and to make a statement about the way forward.
After the confidence vote, May delivered a statement at number 10 Downing Street.
I am inviting MPs from all parties to come together to find a way forward. I am disappointed that the leader of the Labour Party has not so far chosen to take part, but our door remains open. It will not be an easy task, but MPs know they have a duty to act in the national interest, reach a consensus and get this done.
But earlier in the House, the Labour Party leader made it very clear why he will not be accepting the olive branch extended by May.
Before there can be any positive discussions about the way forward, the government must remove clearly, once and for all, the prospect of the catastrophe of a no-deal Brexit from the EU and all the chaos that would come as a result of that.
With all the drama surrounding Brexit, it's easy to forget who in fact called a public referendum in the June of 2016 on Britain's divorce from the European Union.
I don't regret calling the referendum. I think 6 out of 7 members of Parliament of all parties voted for that referendum.
Has the British Parliament take control of the Britain's exit of the European Union, or has this been the worst political situation for Britain in the recent past? Well, to discuss more, we have with us His Excellency James Doris, the British High Commissioner in Sri Lanka. Good evening and a warm welcome to Studio 24.
Good evening, thank you.
High Commissioner, thank you very much for being here. Let me ask you this simple question. Is Her Majesty's government in trouble despite the victory yesterday?
The government won the vote of no confidence in the government, which was held on Tuesday this week. The Prime Minister has been clear, the government is clear that this gives it the mandate to take forward the work that it is doing, including, of course, the work to find a deal that works for sufficient members of Parliament on Brexit.
So one of the things that the analysts and people have been saying is the fact that despite the Brexit vote went through and people voted for Brexit, they didn't mean for it. And then there is this other argument in the House itself stating, you know, we should go for a second referendum. And that's exactly what most of the other parties who are supporting the government is requesting. So is this the way forward, or what exactly? But because Prime Minister Theresa May continues to say that is not the way.
I think we can find analysts who are arguing every conceivable position, but the Prime Minister has been clear, including in the past couple of days, that she firmly believes that it is her responsibility to deliver the result of the instruction given through the referendum in 2016, and to do that through negotiating, agreeing a deal that commands the support of a sufficient number of members of Parliament, as well as of the other EU member states.
Now, there is talk that this is the most uncertainty that British politics has seen in modern times since 1940, the worst chaotic situation that the British Parliament could go through. But for Britain, for the UK legislature, what does this mean? The deadline is not too far away, March 29th.
The deadline isn't far away. The referendum took place in 2016 and in 2017 in March, almost 2 years ago, as you say. The UK served notice under Article 50 of its intention to leave the EU, and that set in place a period of 2 years during which a lot of work has been done to agree the terms of the relationship between the UK and the remaining 27 member states of the European Union. What of course has happened in the past few days is that Parliament has said to the government that not enough members of Parliament like the terms of the deal that was on the table. The Prime Minister is now working hard with parties across Parliament to agree changes, to talk through proposals to what was on the table, and she will be making a statement. The government will be presenting a resolution in Parliament next Monday, or Monday next week.
And how does Britain intend to recover from this uncertainty and the damages that would be caused as a result of this political uncertainty ongoing, with talks of a no-deal Brexit or with an uncertain Brexit deal?
Nobody anticipated that the process of leaving the European Union would be easy. It's an organisation that we have been a member of for a long time, and EU regulations, directives reach into so many corners of life, including business life, as we've seen. But we are looking forward to a post-Brexit role for the UK, both in Europe and in the world, with confidence. And of course, while Britain is leaving the European Union, it is not leaving Europe, and will very much remain at the centre of organisations like NATO and at the centre of European life.
And also, as we talk about post-Brexit, it is essential that we talk about the GSP Plus concession provided by the European Union, for which Sri Lanka is a beneficiary. But in the event that the UK exits this economic area, European economic area, what's the repercussion, and how does the UK work to ensure that all these benefits are continuing to smaller nations as ours?
It's a good question, and I think the answer is one which will be important to all of your viewers this evening who are exporters. What I can say, there are questions I can't answer, but what I can say is that on day one, the day after we leave the European Union, the United Kingdom will have in place a system of tariffs which extends the same preferential tariff rates to countries which are currently beneficiaries of the EU Generalised System of Preferences, GSP. And Sri Lanka, as you've mentioned, is one of those. The system we intend will have 3 tiers, as the EU system does, and the rates will be set at the same rates as the EU has set them on the day that we leave.
So one other question for most of Sri Lankans here, there is a lot of expats living in Britain as well. For them, will there be a change in visa process, or will there be a change in the way we, go to the United Kingdom? Will things change, or will it be the same?
I can't speak for exactly how visa system might change for everybody, but what I think is most important to say is that the UK will remain open to, encouraging of, friendly towards visitors from around the world, including, of course, from Sri Lanka.
Right, and also I'd like to stress on discussing finally on Sri Lanka-UK relations and most importantly trade. Will there be any impact on trade relations? Because we are looking at expanding exports from Sri Lanka to the UK and also for a larger concession from the United Kingdom for Sri Lanka. Is there any possibility of working out a free trade deal, an arrangement with the United Kingdom going forward?
There are parts of your question I can't give an easy answer to, and the reason for that is because we do not yet know what the terms of the deal that will be agreed between the UK and the EU will say. What I can say with confidence is that the UK will remain very open to business, that we will continue to promote free trade, a rules-based international system of trade around the world.
Right, thank you very much, High Commissioner, for your time here at our studios. We had with us the British High Commissioner in Sri Lanka, His Excellency James Doris, joining us First at 9.
Thank you.